What's up guys, welcome to the FOMO Factory. I would like to discuss today why altcoins are actually dangerous right now. I talked a lot about the fact that it's maybe not smart to go into altcoins because it probably comes down, but I also want to show you how much pain it could actually give you. And I'm not saying this to be an altcoin bear or whatever, or some kind of a Bitcoin maxi, actually not, but I want to get the best entry. I want to get the right timing, of course, because that's when you make most out of your crypto game. So welcome to the FOMO Factory. Smack the like button, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to turn on your bell notification. Now let's get right into it. Bitcoin is sitting at $27,000, showing some weakness the last couple of weeks. If you look at it on the weekly chart, you can see that Bitcoin is well on the way. Let me get slightly cleaner chart. You'll see that Bitcoin is well on the way to get back to the bull market support band. Now we want to see that that holds, right? The bull market support band is the 20 and the 21 weekly moving average. And yeah, in a bear market, it's resistance, right? We get there and we get rejected, we fall back down, we get there again, we fall back down. And in a bull market, you'll see that it's actually support, therefore bull market support band. Right now, Bitcoin, the strength of Bitcoin is that since, well, January, we broke the bull market support band, right? We went up, we went down, we retested it, we went up again, and now we are going down. So should we retest it? Yeah, it's definitely possible. And that currently comes in at around $25,500. Also, by the way, if you take this support line, it's kind of the same level where this resistance comes in as well, which now should be support. So 25 and a half is definitely a level that if we go down, I want to see that hold. Overall, Bitcoin is, you know, outperforming the market by far. Of course, if you take a look at the altcoin market, yeah, then you'll see that the bull market support band is already broken. And I'm not going to repeat this all the time, but we are in a falling wedge and altcoins are, you know, they just got rejected again. And we are still in that wedge that Bitcoin broke 4 months ago. So it's very simple. Altcoins are running behind. But then there's always the counter argument that, you know, altcoins could break out, right? But what are the two scenarios right here, right now? I don't want to be too bearish here, but it's not bearish, it's prepared, because you have no idea how heavily I'm going to deploy my liver, kidney and kids into this altcoin market as soon as the opportunity is there. But I want to get the best opportunity. So what if Bitcoin goes up and what if Bitcoin goes down? In my opinion, the altcoin market is getting wrecked, both scenarios. Why is that? Well, therefore, we have to take a look at the total 3 and at the Bitcoin dominance, right? The Bitcoin dominance, everybody talking about an altcoin season. Well, a lot of people talking about an altcoin season and all of that. Yeah, now, look, I mean, an altcoin season is where altcoins outperform Bitcoin, right? And the people calling for an altcoin season, they expect this little move to the downside, and you can technically call that a little altcoin season, but like the real alt seasons don't happen in a bear market. That's just like not how it works. But the Bitcoin dominance is exceptionally strong at this level. For the last 2 years, we were in this range. And every time we get so high, we get rejected within a couple of days, right? If you put it on the daily chart, you can see right here, every time we get there, a couple of days rejected, maybe 2 days rejected, 2 days rejected. We've been here for 2 months already. So this time is actually different for the Bitcoin dominance. Also, if you'll see that we have every single moving average as support right now, the 250, 100 weighted moving average, the bull market support band, and we are really holding up right here. So the previous times, these were, here we got rejected by the bull market support band. Here we got rejected by the 50 weighted moving average. Here we just got rejected by this line, 100 weighted moving average did not do much. But now we did not really get rejected from the 200. We broke it. right? And now it looks like it's going to be support for us. So what if Bitcoin goes up? Then what, right? How is the altcoin market not breaking out then? Well, let's take a look again at the Bitcoin dominance and let's overlay Bitcoin on the Bitcoin dominance to speculate a little bit, okay? Because this is pretty interesting. Let me put it on logarithmic. Here we go. So what do you notice? The orange line is Bitcoin, by the way, so that you know. You'll see that as soon as Bitcoin goes up, the Bitcoin dominance is going up as well, right? It was different right here. But lately, so far, Bitcoin and the Bitcoin dominance are quite similar, right? They do the same. So Bitcoin, it moves up and the Bitcoin dominance moves up as well. Bitcoin goes sideways, dominance goes sideways as well. Now, I must say the dominance is actually a little bit stronger, right? I mean, if you look, especially on the daily chart, Bitcoin is now sitting at right here, it's $27,000, right? Last time we were at that exact level was here, right? Bitcoin also $27,000. Difference is back then the dominance was sitting at 46.5%. Now it's sitting almost at 48%. So although Bitcoin is the same, the dominance is going up, right? So even if Bitcoin doesn't really do much, it's still or doesn't do anything, it's still outperforming altcoins, right? So it basically just means no matter what, altcoins go down against Bitcoin. So that's one. But what if Bitcoin goes up even more? Right? Now, if Bitcoin goes up even more, so far, these two are still following each other. So if Bitcoin decides to have another push towards 29 or 30K, yeah, that would be the final push for this dominance to break out of this range. And that's where the fun begins. Because you'll see this range. Let me remove Bitcoin here. You see this range, major resistance, major. Can you imagine that if we break it, wouldn't it turn into support, right? So if Bitcoin has a good run, people feel like, oh, altcoins are gonna run as well. Not necessarily, right? Because that could mean that the dominance goes up, and whenever Bitcoin then sees a correction, the dominance could go down, but it finds support at this level and not resistance. So we are out of the range. Yeah, and then every small pump or whatever for Bitcoin could make the dominance fly, right? Now, that doesn't necessarily mean anything for altcoins on their USDT pair, but it does mean something for altcoins on their Bitcoin pair, because then altcoins on their Bitcoin pair are really going to see the crash, right? And that's a bad sign for altcoins, as a lot of them already lost their key support. AVAX, yeah, I can come up with some examples, right? But you know how it goes. AVAX, for example, had major support around that 6,169 Satoshis, right? But it's already broken lately. So the support is already gone. So if the dominance goes up even higher, yeah, then it's a free fall. And then altcoins could easily lose 50%. Or something like that over a time span of a couple of weeks, months, basically, right? And a lot of them are already making new lows or are getting towards that. So this is AVAX, for example. But if you look at Cardano, sorry for all the drawings right here, let me remove those. But if you look at Cardano, for example, on its Bitcoin pair, yeah, not looking that strong, right? Lower lows and lower highs all the single time. So it doesn't take much for Cardano to find a new low, since we are only, if we count the extreme wick, 12.5% from the bottom. And a lot of them look like this. Atom is showing some relative strength, but over the last couple of months, don't forget that it already lost 52%, right? We have Arweave, for example, putting in new lows. We have Moonbeam putting in new lows. We have a lot of projects just putting in new lows. Cake putting in new lows. So the support is gone, right? And the ones that are not sitting at new lows yet, they will take a big hit towards their new lows anyway, once we see that move to the upside. So that is going to wreck altcoins, and therefore it doesn't have to do anything with dollars again. You can, in that case, if you want to be exposed to the market, best be in Bitcoin. Because then if you have your Bitcoin, you can buy these altcoins at their lows, even though their dollar pair might not be sitting at lows. I mean, like I said, if you look at AVAX Bitcoin, right, it's sitting lower. Like the last time it was that low was in August 21, and that was when it was running up in the bull run. It came from its previous bear market. But ever since the bear market, right, it was never that low as today, right? But if you look at AVAX dollar, you see that it's not at lows yet. So it's quite interesting that although, if you take it from the bottom to where we are right now, it's sitting 40% higher, but you can still buy the low. You know what I mean? So that's the thing, right? So that's the argument for me, at least, that if the dominance or if Bitcoin goes up, so far the dominance also shows that it's just following Bitcoin. Now, of course, that would be invalid at the moment that Bitcoin decides to run up and the dominance decides to come down. That would be a sick altcoin move. But so far, I don't really see any signs why that should happen, because that's just not what's happening, right? So, but I'm open to the fact that it's indeed possible. It's what we had June last year, right? There, Bitcoin ran up 40% while the dominance was going down. That was a good period for altcoins. But yeah, to see Bitcoin go up 40% right now is already something that I don't see. And again, Bitcoin and Bitcoin dominance are going hand in hand so far. Like, exactly. Then we have another possibility. And that's when the dominance goes, or Bitcoin goes down. Definitely not unlikely, right? I mean, Bitcoin, again, it's now sitting at 27K. Could it come down to at least 25? Yes. Could it come down more than 25K? Yes, right? I mean, yeah, we have this bull market support band, and so far it is support. Then again, if we compare this to 2019, where we kind of in the same pattern, right? We had in November, we had a big crash like we now had with the FTX crash. We found our bottom, in my opinion. We had a run up, topped out, right? We were above the bull market support band, but eventually we fell below the bull market support band and we broke every single support that there was. Right? And even after we found the bottom in December 2018, we came pretty close in March 2020, right? So 14 months later, give or take. So yeah, if this was the bottom in November 2022, it doesn't mean we cannot see a much lower level than where we are right now, somewhere end of the year, beginning next year. Why is that not impossible? Well, because so far it's playing out exactly like it did in 2019 as well. And that's what happened. So I'm not saying it happened before, so it happens right now, but it happened before, so it's definitely possible that it could happen right now, right? So everybody is getting used to that 27, you know, don't be surprised. I mean, if Bitcoin goes to 18K again, yeah, I wouldn't mind. But I won't be surprised as well. But what would that mean for the altcoin market? Well, that could mean that the dominance is going down indeed. So that altcoins are finally going up against Bitcoin, right? But yeah, then it depends how much is Bitcoin dropping. Because if altcoins go up compared to an asset that is dropping a lot, it could still mean that altcoins are actually going down dollar value. And therefore I'm saying, like, altcoins are just very dangerous right now, especially since that the few people are left in this crypto space are talking a lot about altcoins. And we now have some kind of a meme season with Pepe. guess how many people got completely wrecked with that meme season and how many people actually got rich with it? A lot more people got wrecked with it, right? Because that's one altcoin that's blowing up and everybody feels like, oh yeah, I'm now gonna buy it. It's just a random meme coin with an ugly ass website with no utility at all, somewhere in the top 50, and I am going to buy it right now because maybe I can make a 2x out of that while the risk is like crazy high. Why the fuck am I buying this? Like, no, don't do it. And if you buy anything else, watch one of my last videos where I bought like 10 meme coins. 8 rocked me within a half a day, and the other 2, well, eventually a couple of days later, they rocked me as well, by the way. I didn't show that in that video, but they all rock you, right? Or they just fail. Right? And now we have these influencers like BitBoy making its own meme coin, like all of that. And I feel like, okay. People are getting desperate, right? Like, it's not just riding the hype. I mean, he in particular, he just made a video where he said he lost a lot of money, and then he's making partnerships with half of his videos are full with that, and now he's making a meme coin. Everybody's skeptic about him, and right, and I feel like, but that's just an example of people that feel like, man, I got to do something in this crypto space. I got to play something in the altcoin market, right? But you do not have to play something in the altcoin market yet. You can just watch until it's actually time for the altcoin market to do something. Because if you do go into the altcoin market, everybody is always like, yeah, altcoins overall, they don't look good, right? I mean, chart's still going down. Altcoins are still in a bear market. I mean, look at the chart. Like, come on. It's very simple. Bear market, sideways market, bull market. That's kind of what you have, right? Bear market, sideways market, bull market. This is not a bull market. It's not an alt season. Stop doing weird things with your brains. So, as long as it's still a bear market, I feel like it's very dangerous to mess with altcoins, because chances are super realistic that Bitcoin goes towards 20K again or so, right? And what happens to the altcoin market? Again, last cycle, we saw the same pattern, right? We were in the same falling wedge. We broke out for 2 weeks, got rejected by the bull market support band, fell back in, and we even went below it. And the next 1.5 years was pretty much sideways, right? What did we do right now? Falling wedge, broke out of it for 2 weeks, got rejected right there, fall back in it. Can we go below it? I don't know, but it's so weird to think that at least we are going to touch the downside of this pattern again, like we have been doing for like 2 years or so. Why not? It's still like the trend is still intact. So why is it so unthinkable that that might happen, right? I mean, as long as the trend is still there, then I'm not the one that's fighting that trend, right? And therefore people are being very picky, like, yeah, but this altcoin is good. There are altcoins getting completely wrecked, right? If you look at Cake, in a matter of 2 months, it fell 60%, right? Just to compare, right? That's since like March, give or take, right? March. What did Bitcoin do since March? Well, March was here. Bitcoin was sitting at 22K. What did Bitcoin do? Bitcoin gained 22%. Cake fell 60%, right? Another prime example of people that love the token. Great, but you got to get your timing at least together, right? Hex. What did Hex do? Terrible. Like in a matter also of 2 months, right? Hex fell 80%. 80. That's more than what Bitcoin did in the complete bear market. And while Bitcoin was gaining 20%, the Hex fell 80%. That's especially that is the example of don't be in shitcoins during a bear market. Like if you want to play this game in a bull market, yeah, fine. I mean, liquidity is coming in and all of that. But in a bear market, like cake as well, by the way, as also basically no utility, right? And you'll see that these coins with no utility and all of that and pure speculation, basically, they fall very hard, right? And also coins that's supposed to have a utility. If you look at Moonbeam, for example, and this is the dollar version, right? Everybody talking about Moonbeam. Okay. Again, new lower low like last week. Right, well, it's supposed to be a good layer one, but also in a matter of like 3 months, fell 50%, right? And I know a lot of coins are doing good, but is it worth it to take the risk of finding a needle in a haystack, basically, of finding the right altcoin that does do well, right? While you can also be in Bitcoin, in the meantime, that's giving you way more return as well, right? Altcoins are at the moment high risk, low return, reward. High risk, low reward, right? So it's just not worth it at the moment. And I get it. I feel tempted, to be honest. I have some altcoins on my watch list that I feel like, I really want to buy them. And then you'll see a couple of days where they go up like 20% and you feel like, fuck, I missed it. And then you buy it and then they go down again. And that's that game that crypto is playing at the moment, right? I mean, I have like, well, my gaming watch list, for example. I want to have more Altora. Definitely, I want to have more Altora. But do you know when I also thought I want to have more? Here, right? And I didn't buy right there. And I am happy because it's already down 27% right now, right? Sometimes you just have to take a look at the chart like that, like, okay, overall, am I happy that I bought or not? Yeah, and in Altora's case, you missed out on a pretty sick move right here, and it could go higher. But overall, it's not worth it yet for me. I think IMX is a very good project as well, right? But still, if you look at where it came from the top to where it is right now, right, it still falls like 46%. So altcoins are really getting hurt a lot. And therefore you do just want to be patient with this kind of stuff. I have so many projects right here that I feel that are good, right? But for example, Nakamoto Games as well. This is one of the lower caps that I feel like, damn, yeah, I want to have this in my portfolio. And it ran all the way up to 37 cents. But if you are patient, you get a way better entry because we are now already having a discount of 42%, right? It was even 55. Who says we can get it for 60 or so, right? So far, patience is paying off. And my main indicator is just the total 3. Whenever I look at such an altcoin chart and I feel like, yeah, where might it go? Look at this support right here. This would be a good play. Whatever. Look at the total 3. Is it sitting at resistance or support? Well, at resistance. In that case, very simple. I'm not buying. That's it. And if I that way miss out on a couple of altcoins that do run and are some exceptions, so what? It's not that like there are no other choices. I mean, I have a big watch list of altcoins that I like, right? Let's say you have 20 altcoins that you feel like, oh, these are really good. And you miss out on 3. So what? You have 17 left. Don't make it hard on yourself. It's like, it's a bear market still for altcoins. Your mentality should not be making money right now. Your mentality should be not losing money and wait and patience and until the and whenever the time is right, you get in and then your mentality should be making money, right? For now, just it's a bear market. Just don't try to lose it. It's hard enough already, right? Let alone making it. Once we really get into a bull market, this channel is going to be so fun. For now, I get that it's hard and people, therefore people are getting wrecked because the longer this takes, you know, the more frustrated people get. And when people get frustrated and impatient, they feel like, you know, it's like going to the casino where you throw like $1 in the machine and $1 and you're losing and you're losing and your dollar, are you winning a little bit and another $1 and you're losing and you feel like, it doesn't work. And you just throw all your money in at once, feel like, okay, if this is going to work, I'm rich. I'm rich. Yeah, chances are pretty high that that doesn't work. Right now, the same goes for this. Right? Don't go all in or don't make crazy decisions. Believe me, I've been there in the last mark cycle as well, and it completely wrecked me. And then it's really that, I don't know. I have some kind of a casino addiction, I think, so I never go there. But then it really feels like, shit, I lost so much money. Let me throw another $100 in. And if I win that, then I'm playing even, right? And then, of course, you lose because the house always wins, right? And then you keep going and keep going and keep going. And then, yeah, at a certain point you broke. And you're going to start to blame everything and everybody and the crypto market and the government and the this and the that, except yourself. Right? And there's only you to blame because, you know, the market does what the market wants to do. And you should make your decisions based on what the market does. It's not that the market is going to make decisions based on what you do. And some people maybe feel like that's the case. Well, that's not. So be patient. And to give you a little perspective on what I think, though, I don't know, man. I honestly think that that it could take for the rest of the year. And it could be very boring. It really could be very boring, to be honest. I mean, even if we saw the altcoin market bottom, like we did over here, for example, right? Even if that's the case, it was in December 2018. We made a double bottom in March 2020. So it took another 1.5 years, right? So even hypothetically, if this was the bottom, December 2022, it could take until March 2024, something like that, you know, before we really start to run. And we could be sitting where we are sitting now in 1.5 years from now, or one year from now. So yeah, in the meantime, just get a job, man. It sucks. I know you want someone on YouTube that says like, oh, buy this coin, you will be rich. And that's some YouTuber that says, oh, crypto, forget about it, get a job. But it's just what it is, man. So I hope it helps a little bit. I won't be going anywhere though. So like the video if you like the video. If you have any questions, suggestions, whatever, leave a comment, sub to the channel, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.